What's happening, everybody? Well, I see the patron saint Big Stacks has pulled out of his Misfits fight after getting a smack in the mouth of Jordan McCann. I don't know how, Paul Venice and all them are going to cope, because they seem to be going into meltdown about it. I mean, I don't know, how much shit this Stacks talks, right? But he says that he was in jail for GBH. Still got 2 years on licence, something like smashing somebody's kneecaps and fracturing the skulls, battering the head off the pavement 60 times. I mean, looking at how useless he is, I'd hate to see how vulnerable the person he did that to was. Do you know what I mean? But I certainly don't have any sympathy on the kid for getting a smack in the mouth. I mean, I've heard of a few kids that he's an alright lad who've met him, and maybe he's turned his cell around after being in prison. But to me, maybe he's try, if you've done something like that to someone, I don't know what his reasons for doing it were, but maybe he's try, not going around like a tosser and saying you're the hardest man in Britain, banter or not, when you get out of jail. Is it all banter? Do you know what I mean? But looking at how useless he is on the pads and that, like you say, that Jordan McCann's done him a massive, massive favour, because he would have been, even though that kid is a raw novice, that Arms, who he's going to fight, right, he looked like he had a bit of potential, in 10, 15 fights time, he could be, half decent, and he would have knocked that Stacks out. I can't begrudge him for pulling out with an injury he had on the inside of his mouth. I understand that. I mean, he was nearly knocked out as well. Loads of people saying he wasn't budged. I watched it from one angle. He was reeling from that. If that Jordan McCann, and I sort of done it a bit slyly or whatever, and he took a step back and all that, but if that Jordan McCann had dived in and hired a few more digs, I think he would have knocked him out. I think he's that Stacks is a pure soft lad, pure fairy, you know what I mean? Moving on from that, onto the UFC Whitehouse card, you've got a couple of good fights on there. I don't really know much about who Sean O'Malley's fighting, but it's kind of a must-win fight for him, isn't it? So I'm not going to make a prediction on that one, but Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. I forgot this UFC card was this weekend, but Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. You know what, right? Very, very controversial, because it's probably the first time Pereira's fighting someone who can, other than Adesanya, and that was mainly due to weight training, who can stand toe to toe with them. But I'm going to pick Pereira. I think his power, he's a massive bloke, right, him. And I think his power's going to go through the roof at heavyweight. And I think he's going to chin, what's his name, Gane. And I think, I don't know, maybe Aspinall would stand a better chance against Pereira, because he's got a weaker takedown offence. But, on the feet, I think Pereira would do Aspinall as well. But, yeah, controversial, very hard to pick. I think he's going to be losing on points and get hurt a few times, and I think he's going to knock Cyril Gane out. It's my pick. And main event, Gaethje versus Topuria. Just in the spirit of being controversial, right, I'm going to pick Gaethje, even though chances are kind of slim, aren't they? He looks quite awesome, to be honest, Topuria, so far. What I like about Gaethje, those leg kicks, them calf kicks he throws. He's got to do something like that, and just hopefully land something massive like he did on what's his name, Dustin Poirier, in the second fight. He's just got to do something like that, otherwise he's going to get badly hurt. I mean, it seems like Topuria is the new kid on the block, and he's fresh, and he's just beating all the yesterday's fighters, to be honest, just too young and powerful for them. But this is the last kind of one out of that era who's fighting him, so maybe he can sort of upset the odds and do a job on him. But let us know your thoughts, and I'll probably be back on after all the action after the weekend. Cheers, folks. What are you doing?